and with that some comments on it, but very briefly. We have to put a lot of nuances in this blaming in some way of the Eurozone for the so-called problems of the world economy. First of all, we have our problems, they are very well known, but world economic growth is also suffering from problems in some of the emerging economies, not the Russian economy, of course, but some of the emerging countries are facing huge problems. And also this is an element of explaining a certain slowdown of the economic growth. So Eurozone is not the main responsible for slower economic growth on the world scale. Second nuance is that by the end of this year, we will have positive economic growth in the Eurozone as a whole, and even a rather strong recovery in Western European countries. And for 2013, we have in any case positive economic growth between 1% and 2%. Last nuance on growth is that what we are living now, what we are experiencing now, you can't compare this with the huge financial crisis of 2008 and 2009, coming from the other side of the ocean. Then at that time, we had overall in Europe, in the European Union, a recession of -4%. We are not at that stage. Right? Even the most worst figures are -0.3% for this year. So we have to compare what has to be compared. Last remark is, can we overcome this crisis? Will there be again agreements in the European Union? I have now chaired 15 meetings of the European Council, 15. There was never a failure. Each time we made progress. There is much more European integration now than there was 3 or 4 years ago. According to some, it is too little and too late, but each time we agreed with 17 or with 27. And we will do so again, on the growth agenda in June and on the building blocks for deepening an economic and monetary union. At the end of the process, we will have more Europe, not less Europe. And we will overcome this crisis step by step. It will take time, because the problems in some of our member states are profound problems. We hadn't the necessary tools in the beginning to deal with the crisis. We have now set into motion a lot of new instruments. But again, each European Council was a productive one, and this of June and December will also be the case. And let's be sure that France and Germany are not the only ones in the European Union, in the Eurozone. But I'm quite convinced that a long tradition of cooperation will continue between those two countries. But we need the consent not of 2 countries, we need the consent of 17 in the Eurozone and 27. And that's my responsibility.